Hey, hey, welcome to Live with Lynn. So if you're here, say hi. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay so I know you were here. I'm Lynn Huber, and I appreciate you being here today. So today I'm going to talk about gaining victory over fear and uncertainty. You know, generally life has its complications, and the journey's not always easy, and it's not always rosy, right? I mean, life can be amazing, of course, and yet nothing complicates life more than change, expectations in general, bad experiences that we can't get out of our heads, and self-doubt. And if not well managed, these things can create fear and uncertainty within us. And that takes away from that wonderful life, right? So it goes without saying that once fear and uncertainty take over in our lives, our world can easily be turned upside down. A life of fear and uncertainty can make us lose touch with the reality that everyone faces challenges, and it's up to each person to choose whether to respond, peacefully or with resistance. I was reading this story this morning about a lady named Betsy, and Betsy's story gives an example about how uncertainty and fear can impact our lives. And I bet some of us can relate to this. I know I can. I mean, not the exact story, but she says that in her early life was filled with certainty. I mean, her parents did all they could to provide safety and security for her and her brother and sisters. And she had a great life, right? But then her little brother was involved in an accident that caused a brain injury, and he was in a deep coma for weeks. And so, as she was wondering if her brother was going to live and how she was going to look after her little sister while her parents kept watch at the hospital, that fear and anxiety kicked in. I mean, I don't know how old she was, but I get the impression she was probably 12 or 13 or 14 or something. And that's a lot, right? For a kid to have on their shoulders. And so she says, for me, the need for certainty became such a driving force in my life that I would do anything to regain a sense of control. And what that looked like for me was a 12-year battle with an anorexia, bulimia, anxiety, and obsessive perfectionism. And excuse me, and I'm sure many of us have battled in different ways with fear and uncertainty, right? But just like Betsy, if we lose control over fear and feelings of uncertainty, we can lose control over our lives and possibly make bad decisions, some of which we might never recover from. I mean, those things that she struggled with, the bulimia and the anxiety, I mean, those are big deals, right? And on the other hand, being certain always can be an indication that you're not challenging yourself enough. If you're always certain, then maybe you need to get out there and not be so content with staying in your comfort zone. And so maybe instead of trying to completely avoid a life of fear and uncertainty, we should find ways to cope and conquer in those kinds of conditions. So I have some ideas to help you be more victorious over fear and uncertainty. So the first one is fix your attitude. Your attitude affects almost everything in life, including how you fight your inner battles. As long as you live, you're going to face challenges like everyone else. I mean, it's a given. We all face challenges. And the sooner you accept that, the better it's going to be for you. But then instead of trying to prevent meeting those challenges, we want to prepare ourselves for dealing with them. We know they're going to happen, so we prepare ourselves so that when they do happen, we know what to do and we know how to deal with it, right? So be positive and understand that there can still be opportunities that arise from failures and challenges. Accept that things aren't always going to go our way, but know that you'll find a way to make it work. Celebrate wins. Appreciate good things happening in your life and in that of the people around you. Celebrate other people's blessings too, because that can help you see more possibilities. When you see someone else around you doing something great or overcoming a challenge, seeing them win those battles can also give you hope, right? Because it's possible, right? You can feel like a winner too, and it can help you feel the hope that you too can win. Consider how much you lose or are likely to lose due to fear and anxiety. When you have uncontrolled fear and uncertainty, it can also bring depression and maybe a feeling of loss of control over life situations. And when we feel afraid and uncertain, we might even be scared to try new things, and it can make us lose our self-confidence. We can ruin relationships, we can lose jobs, develop health issues, and all kinds of other things. When we're at our worst and fear has overtaken our lives, we see negativity even when there are opportunities. Fear and worrying have never solved problems. Instead, they add to them. And they don't set you up to be able to be successful, right? Know your purpose. When we know our purpose and we believe that we're brought to earth for something greater than just merely existing, we build a strong foundation for our being. We find meaning in life, and we won't stop at anything for as long as we feel that there's still more that we need to do with our lives. Knowing our purpose often comes with the belief in a supernatural power that runs the world, right? And that connection with the spiritual realm tends to make people feel invincible. Nothing gives hope, nothing gives power, hope, and positivity more than that spiritual connection with your higher power, whoever that, whatever that is for you, right? And then guard your thoughts. Many times we overfeed our brains with negative thoughts that go on to be part of our perceived reality, right? And that's that mind chatter I talk about all the time, right? Our brain never stops thinking, right? Some of these fears might even result from problems that aren't even real, because your brain is like, what if, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? And you've got to stop that, right? So this can come with the belief that I'm not qualified for this, or I don't have it in me, or my life is cursed, or other similar thoughts. That I see it all the time. I do. I see it. People post on Facebook, FML. I had to Google it. I didn't know what that meant, but that's what I'm talking about, right? You've got to let go of those beliefs. Whenever we find ourselves engaged in deep thought about our lives, make the conscious choice to stand with positivity. You got to say, stop. I'm not doing this anymore. I choose to be victorious. I choose to be positive, right? It's true that no one has been to the future and no one knows what it's going to bring. But as we march towards it with every second given to us, let's look forward to the good things that we're hoping for and plan for them rather than worrying about whether the future will be friendly to us. Share your worries with someone you can trust. Sometimes it can help us to talk to someone. When you keep some issues to yourself, you might go through problems that would have been easily prevented or maybe even lightened if you had talked to someone else. They might have a different perspective, or maybe they have experience with that would help you, right? We do have people who genuinely care about us, most of us, right? All we need to do is give them a chance. Draw lessons and grow from challenges. As much as we don't want to normalize the life of suffering, we can't run away from the fact that people who have faced the greatest challenges and have used them as stepping stones are much stronger and wiser than people who only know a life of comfort. It's true, right? The people who struggle the hardest, usually they are the ones that achieve the most, ultimately, if they can get through that struggle, and they're stronger, right? Many times they'll tell us that they have bad memories, right? That they look back on. And they're in some ways, they're glad that the challenges came at that time in their lives, because that made them stronger. That made them push through and become who they are now, right? So as we go through fear and uncertainty, we can do so with that mentality that victory over them makes us better, makes us less fearful, and makes us stronger. So, hey, now I'd love to hear from you. Do any of the thoughts I mentioned today resonate with you? What kinds of things help you to remember that you are in control and you can overcome the fear and anxiety that might be holding you back? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. Anyway, I don't see anybody here live. If you are live and you haven't commented, or I'm just not seeing you, I'm sorry. But thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, thank you. I appreciate you. So go out there and have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.